Hey friends, Alan Lee here with Honestly Handyman Services out of Sacramento, California. And today I want to talk about liability insurance for a handyman. I know you guys can probably just hear it from me, but I want a trained insurance professional to tell you a little bit about it. This is Thompson, not only my insurance agent, but a good friend. He's been doing insurance for 5 years, and I just want him to explain a little bit about general liability insurance, and particularly, is general liability insurance the only thing we need as handyman? And I'll just let him take it away.
Yeah, so as Alan introduced me, my name is Thompson. I am an insurance broker agent. It's 5 years in the business and do a lot of commercials. So this is kind of my niche. Essentially, with insurance, as far as general liability coverage goes, you have your general liability on the policy, and then there's also something called products completed operations. So you have your general liability coverage for if you say leave something out, somebody trips and falls on it. As a result of an error that you made, the general liability coverage would cover that for, say, an injury or something of that sort. Products completed operations has to do with your work. So if you do something incorrectly and say 2 years down the road, there's a fire caused from it, there's structural damage from something that you did as a result down the road, that would be covered by your products completed coverage. So it's very important to make sure you have both of those coverages, because policies they're all very different. You just want to make sure that that's something you have. Now, as far as beyond that, all policies have forms, endorsements, and exclusions. So furthermore, you can purchase coverage and then line by line there could be little things taken out. For instance, there is asbestos exclusions on a majority of general liability policies. So if you, as a handyman, contractor, whatever you may be, expose asbestos and your client is injured from it, they have lung problems, so on and so forth, it could be potentially your fault that you exposed it, but it would not be covered on the policy. So you would be on the hook for something like that. Another topic in regards to handyman specifically would be the licensure. So in the state of California, where we're located, as a handyman, you can only do a job up to $500 for the total job cost, right?
Yep.
So with that being said, if you say take on a job that is $5,000 in revenue coming to you, there is something in the policy called description of operations. And your policy coverage is limited to your description of operations. So, hypothetically speaking, a claim arises out of you doing this big job, and you're working in the capacity of a contractor, not as a handyman. There could be no coverage for you. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that you make sure you're following your state's rules. You make sure you have coverage for what you're doing, and it's not. Insurance is not. You don't want an agent to scare you into buying everything under the moon. You just want to make sure that you are covered for what you're doing. You don't buy insurance because you want to mess up. You buy insurance in case you do, so you're not put in a position where you can't work anymore, you can't afford to pay bills, so on and so forth. So just make sure you're working with somebody that's knowledgeable, reputable, and is a good person. So
yeah, and like everything else, like the laws and regulations are different in every single state. I mean, as you know, the handyman and contractor laws, they're different in every single state, and same with the insurance needs and things like that. Yeah. So what would you say, what's the best way that someone looking for handyman insurance can find a good broker to help them out?
So what I would recommend, and the way Alan found me, is he went to his personal insurance provider and they gave him a personal referral to me, and I've helped you for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And that would be where I would start, is say you're insured at State Farm, Farmers, what have you. If they can't help you, just ask for a referral. See if there's somebody they know in the brokering side of the business that could help you. Mm-hmm. And then if that doesn't work, obviously with technology today and Google,
yeah, you
right?
Google it.
You can Google it and
yeah.
see who's got good reviews.
Yeah.
Because if you work with somebody that's reputable, you get what you pay for most of the time. So
yeah, and it's important to work with someone that knows what they're talking about and isn't just, like you said, a fly-by-night insurance broker, because there's a lot of people that just want to take your money and
Yeah.
Got to make sure you're actually insured. You know,
Yeah.
That's probably important.
Yeah. Definitely.
So Perry Thompson, obviously we are in California. His company does work for some of the West Coast states. So if you are in one of those states, you can contact me or contact him, and we can try and figure that out. If not, I would definitely recommend you talk to your current insurance provider, whether that be State Farm or things like that. But if it's okay with Perry, I would like to link your information in the description below,
100%.
and you can feel free to reach out to him. I would highly recommend him for any of your insurance needs, as he's definitely helped me out. So,
All right. Thank you, Alan.
thank you.